The silver ship landed in the royal docking bay with a soft hiss. Steam rose from its hull as the engines cooled down. Queen Mira stood waiting with her guards and nobles. Her blue skin glowed in the afternoon light, and her silver eyes watched the ship's door with hope and worry. Princess Zara had been gone for 5 long years. The queen missed her daughter every day. Zara was supposed to return 3 years ago, but her ship had gone silent. The royal family thought she was dead. Then last week they got a message. Zara was alive and coming home. The ship's door opened slowly. A ramp came down. The crowd held its breath. Princess Zara stepped out first. She looked older now, with new scars on her blue skin. Her long silver hair was tied back in a simple style. She wore a plain gray uniform instead of royal clothes. But she was alive, and Queen Mira felt tears fill her eyes. Then the crowd gasped. Zara was not alone. In her arms she carried a small child. The boy had pale pink skin and brown hair. His eyes were bright blue, and he looked around with wonder at all the tall alien beings staring at him. He was clearly human. The queen's joy turned to shock. Her mouth fell open. The nobles behind her began to whisper and point. Some stepped back in fear and disgust. Zara, Queen Mira said in a shaky voice. What is that creature? Princess Zara walked down the ramp slowly. The human child held onto her tightly. He did not seem afraid of her blue skin or silver eyes. To him, she was just the person who kept him safe. Mother, Zara said with a bow, I have returned home. Answer my question, the queen said more firmly.
What is that thing you carry?
This is Jake, Zara said simply. He is under my protection. The crowd erupted in angry voices. General Voss, the queen's top military leader, stepped forward. His face was twisted with hate. Princess, you bring an enemy into our sacred palace, he said. Humans are our enemies. They are violent and dangerous. This creature does not belong here. Jake looked up at the angry alien faces around him. He did not understand all their words, but he knew they did not like him. He pressed closer to Zara and said something in a small voice. Mama Zara, why are they mad at me? He asked in broken Keltharian words. The crowd fell silent. They had never heard a human speak their language before. They had never seen a human child show such trust and love for one of their people. It confused them. Queen Mira's eyes grew wide. It speaks our language. And it calls you mother? Zara's face was calm, but her grip on Jake grew tighter. I taught him some of our words. He is a quick learner. How long have you had this creature? Commander Kane asked. He was another military leader who hated humans. That does not matter now, Zara replied. What matters is that Jake is innocent. He has done nothing wrong. I ask that you treat him with respect. The queen looked at her daughter like she was a stranger. Zara, have you lost your mind? This is a human child. Our people have been at war with his kind for 30 years. They are monsters who destroy everything they touch. Jake looked up at Zara with worried eyes. He could tell something was very wrong. Even though he was only 4 years old, he was smart enough to know that these people did not want him here. I'm not a monster, Jake said quietly in Keltharian. I just want to stay with Mama Zara. Some of the nobles looked uncomfortable. The child seemed so normal, so innocent. This was not what they expected from a human, but General Voss was not moved. Princess, you have been away too long. You have forgotten who you are. You are the heir to this empire. You cannot bring our enemies into our home. Zara stood taller. Her voice became stronger. I have not forgotten who I am. I am Princess Zara, daughter of Queen Mira, and I say this child is under my protection. Anyone who wants to harm him will have to go through me first. The tension in the docking bay was thick. Mother and daughter stared at each other. The queen's heart was breaking. Her precious daughter had returned, but she seemed like a different person. Zara, the queen said softly, put that creature down, come to me. Let us talk about this in private. No, Zara said firmly. Jake stays with me. If you want to talk, we both come, or neither of us comes. Jake tugged on Zara's sleeve. Mama Zara, are we in trouble? He whispered. She looked down at him with gentle eyes. Do not worry, little one. I will keep you safe. The queen felt a strange pain in her chest. She had never seen her daughter show such care for anyone before. Keltharians were not known for being gentle or loving. They were warriors and conquerors. But here was her daughter, acting like a protective mother to an enemy child. Very well, Queen Mira said at last. You both come. But Zara, you will explain everything. I want to know where you have been, how you got this creature, and why you think you can bring it here. Zara nodded. I will tell you everything, Mother. But Jake is not a creature or a thing. He is a child with a name. Please remember that. The queen turned and walked toward the palace. The nobles and guards followed behind her. Zara carried Jake as they all moved through the crystal hallways. The boy looked around with wonder at the beautiful walls and glowing lights. It's so pretty, Mama Zara, he said softly. Yes, it is, she replied. This is where I grew up. But as they walked, Zara could feel the hateful stares of everyone around them. She knew that bringing Jake here was dangerous. She knew her people would not understand. But she also knew she had no choice. Jake was all she had left of the humans who had shown her what love really meant. And she would protect him with her life no matter what it cost her. The palace doors closed behind them with a loud bang. Princess Zara was home at last, but she had never felt more alone. The only comfort was the small hand holding hers and the trust in a little boy's eyes. Whatever happened next, she would not let that trust be broken. 5 years ago, Princess Zara had been a different person. She was a loyal daughter of the Empire, ready to follow orders without question. When Queen Mira gave her a secret mission, she accepted it with pride. Go to the human world called Earth, the Queen had told her. Study their defenses. Learn their weaknesses. We will use this knowledge to destroy them once and for all. Zara had taken a small, fast ship designed to look like space junk. Her mission was simple. Land on Earth, watch the humans for 6 months, then return with information. She expected to find a world full of violent monsters, just like her teachers had always said. But everything went wrong from the start. A solar storm hit her ship as she entered Earth's atmosphere. The engines failed and she crashed in a thick forest. When she woke up, her ship was broken, her leg was hurt, and she was alone on an enemy world. For 3 days, she hid in the wreckage, afraid to go outside. She had weapons, but she was injured and weak. She knew that if humans found her, they would probably kill her or torture her for information. On the 4th day, she heard voices. 2 humans were walking through the forest, talking quietly. Zara grabbed her weapon and waited. This was it. She would have to fight. But when the humans found her ship, they did not attack. They seemed surprised and worried. Oh my God, Dan, the female human said. Someone's in there. Are they hurt? The male human, Dan, moved closer slowly. He held up his hands to show he had no weapons. Hello? He called out. We're here to help. Are you injured? Zara pointed her weapon at them and spoke in broken English. Stay back. Do not come closer. Dan stopped moving. Okay, we'll stay here. But you're hurt, aren't you? We can see blood on your leg. Let us help you. Why? Zara asked. I am not your kind. The female human, who was called Lisa, stepped forward slowly. Because you're hurt and scared. That's enough reason. Zara had expected them to run away or call for soldiers. Instead, these 2 humans spent hours convincing her to trust them. They brought her food and water. They showed her their empty hands again and again. Finally, when Zara was too weak to fight anymore, she let them help her. Dan and Lisa took her to their home, a small research station deep in the mountains. They lived alone, studying animals and plants for the government. The nearest town was 50 miles away. Lisa cleaned Zara's wounds and gave her medicine. Dan fixed a bed for her and brought her hot soup. They asked no questions about where she came from or why she was there. They just helped her get better. Why are you being kind to me? Zara asked on her first night there. Lisa sat beside her bed. Because kindness is what makes us human, she said simply. Over the next few weeks, Zara learned to walk again. She also learned about humans in ways her teachers never taught her. Dan showed her his work protecting endangered animals. He spent hours each day feeding orphaned bear cubs whose mother had died. He was gentle and patient with the small creatures. Every life matters, he told Zara as he bottle-fed a tiny cub. Even the smallest ones deserve a chance. Lisa worked on finding new ways to grow food in harsh places. She wanted to help poor countries feed their people better. She worked late into the night, never thinking about herself. There are children who go to bed hungry every night, Lisa explained. If I can find a way to grow more food with less water, maybe some of those children will eat better. Zara had been taught that humans only cared about themselves. But Dan and Lisa proved this was wrong. They cared about animals, about hungry children they had never met, about the future of their planet. Then Lisa told Zara wonderful news. She was going to have a baby. Zara watched Lisa and Dan prepare for their child. She saw how excited they were, How much they already loved the baby before it was even born. When little Jake finally arrived, Zara understood love for the first time in her life. Jake was tiny and perfect. He had his father's blue eyes and his mother's gentle spirit. From the moment he was born, he brought joy to everyone around him. As Jake grew, he saw Zara as part of his family. To him, her blue skin was normal. Her silver eyes were just another color. When he started to talk, he called her Aunt Zara and later Mama Zara. "Look, Mama Zara," he would say, showing her flowers he picked or rocks he found. Every small thing was wonderful to him. Zara taught Jake words in her language. She told him stories about distant stars and crystal cities. Jake listened with wide eyes, believing every word. "Will you take me to see the crystal city someday?" he asked. "Maybe," Zara said, not knowing how true those words would become. During her months with the Carter family, Zara sent false reports to her people. She told them her ship was still broken and she needed more time. She could not bring herself to give them the information they wanted. How could she help destroy these people who had shown her such love? But time was running out. Other Keltharian ships were looking for her. Soon they would find her. The night before her rescue, something terrible happened. Dan and Lisa went to town for supplies. Their truck crashed on the mountain road. Both of them died instantly. Zara found their bodies the next morning. She cried for the first time in her life, holding baby Jake as he cried for parents who would never come home. But something was wrong with the crash. The truck's brakes had been cut. The steering had been damaged. This was no accident. That evening, Keltharian ships appeared in the sky. Captain Rex, her old teacher, came down to get her. "Princess, we have been looking for you," he said. The Queen was worried. "My ship crashed," Zara lied. "I have been hiding from the humans." Rex looked around the research station. "What about these humans? Do they know about you?" "They are dead," Zara said. "They died in an accident yesterday." Rex smiled coldly. "Good, that saves us trouble. We made sure they could not tell anyone about finding you." Zara's blood turned cold. Her people had killed Dan and Lisa. They had murdered the kindest humans on Earth just to keep their mission secret. "What about the baby?" Rex asked, looking at Jake. Zara held Jake tighter. "He is too young to remember anything. Let me take care of him." Rex shrugged. "Do what you want. One human baby cannot hurt us." As they prepared to leave Earth, Zara made a choice that would change everything. She could not save Dan and Lisa, but she could save their son. She could take Jake away from this world before the invasion came. She could give him a chance at life. "I will protect you," she whispered to Jake as their ship left Earth's atmosphere. "I promise I will keep you safe." Jake slept in her arms, not knowing that his world was getting smaller and smaller below them. He did not know that his parents were gone forever. All he knew was that Mama Zara was holding him, and that meant everything was okay. But Zara knew the truth. She was taking Jake to a world that hated his kind. She was bringing him to people who would want to kill him just for being human. She had no plan and no idea how to protect him. All she had was love. Dan and Lisa had taught her that love could change everything. Now she had to hope they were right. Jake's life depended on it. The next morning, Queen Mira called a meeting of the War Council. The most important leaders of the Empire gathered in the Crystal War Room. General Voss sat at the Queen's right hand, his face hard with anger. Commander Kane was there, along with Dr. Finn, the royal scientist, and several other military leaders. Princess Zara was ordered to attend, but Jake was not allowed to come. An old servant named Nexa was told to watch him. Nexa had worked in the palace for 50 years and had helped raise Zara when she was little. "The child seems frightened," Nexa said quietly to Zara. "Poor little thing. Please be kind to him," Zara asked. "He has lost so much already." As Zara left for the meeting, Jake grabbed her hand. "Don't leave me, Mama Zara," he said with tears in his eyes. "I will come back soon," she promised. "Nexa will take care of you." The War Council meeting was worse than Zara had feared. The leaders sat around a large table made of black stone. Maps of human worlds covered the walls. Red marks showed where Keltharian forces had won battles. "We must discuss what to do with this human creature," General Voss began. "It cannot stay here." "It is dangerous." "How is a 4-year-old child dangerous?" Zara asked. "All humans are dangerous," Commander Kane said. "They breed fast and spread like disease. Even their young ones carry the seeds of violence." Dr. Finn leaned forward with interest. "I would like to study the creature. We know so little about human biology." This could help us find better ways to kill them. Zara felt sick. His name is Jake. He is not a creature or a thing to be studied. Princess, you have clearly been affected by your time with humans, General Voss said. You speak of this enemy as if it were a person. He is a person, Zara said firmly. I have lived with humans for years. They are not what we have been told. The room fell silent. Queen Mira looked at her daughter with surprise. What do you mean? Zara took a deep breath. Humans are not monsters, Mother. They can be kind and gentle. They love their children. They help each other. They try to make their world better. The council members laughed coldly. Impossible, Commander Kane said. Humans are violent savages. Our reports prove this. Your reports are wrong, Zara said. I lived among them. I saw how they really are. General Voss slammed his hand on the table. Princess, you have been brainwashed by the enemy. This proves that keeping the human child is dangerous. It must be destroyed before it corrupts others. No, Zara said quickly. Jake is innocent. He has never hurt anyone. It does not matter, Dr. Finn said. Human children grow into human adults. Better to kill it now before it becomes a threat. Queen Mira watched her daughter's face. She saw real fear there and something else. Love. Her daughter loved this human child like her own. We will take some time to decide, the Queen said finally. But Zara, you must understand. This creature cannot stay here forever. Our people will not accept it. After the meeting, Zara hurried back to find Jake. She found him in the palace gardens with Nexa. The old servant was showing him the crystal flowers that grew there. Mama Zara, Jake ran to her and hugged her legs. Look, the flowers sing when the wind blows through them. Zara picked him up and listened. The crystal flowers did make beautiful music in the breeze. Do you like them? They're pretty, Jake said, but they're not as soft as the flowers back home. Home. Jake still thought of Earth as home even though his parents were gone. Zara's heart ached for him. That evening, Dr. Finn came to examine Jake. He said it was just to check the boy's health, but Zara did not trust him. Is this going to hurt? Jake asked as Dr. Finn set up his equipment. Not much, the doctor said coldly. Hold still. Dr. Finn took blood samples and skin samples. He poked and prodded Jake like he was studying an animal. Jake was brave, but tears ran down his face. Please stop, Jake whispered. I don't like this. Quiet creature, Dr. Finn said harshly. This is important work. Zara had seen enough. That is enough. You are finished. I am not done yet, Dr. Finn protested. Yes, you are. Zara stepped between the doctor and Jake. Touch him again and I will break your hands. Dr. Finn gathered his tools angrily. The princess has clearly lost her mind, he muttered. Protecting a human over her own people. After he left, Zara held Jake close. I am sorry he hurt you. Why don't they like me, Mama Zara? Jake asked. I try to be good. You are good, Zara said. They just don't understand yet. But Zara was starting to understand something herself. Her people were not going to change their minds about humans. They had been taught to hate for too long, and that meant Jake would never be safe here. Over the next few days, Zara watched how the palace staff treated Jake. Most of them looked at him with disgust or fear. Some refused to bring food to his room. Others would not clean where he had been. Only Nexa showed him kindness. The old servant would play simple games with Jake and tell him stories. She even taught him a Keltharian children's song. The child has a good heart, Nexa told Zara. It is sad that others cannot see it. Captain Rex, Zara's old military teacher, came to visit her one evening. He had been like a father to her when she was young. Zara, I'm worried about you, he said. The council is talking about having you declared unfit to rule. They say the human has poisoned your mind. Maybe it has, Zara said. Maybe seeing real kindness has shown me how cruel we have become. Rex looked uncomfortable. I have fought humans in battle. They are fierce warriors. Of course they fight, Zara said. We have been trying to destroy them for 30 years. What choice do they have? Are you saying our war is wrong? Zara looked out the window at the beautiful crystal city. I am saying maybe we started a war with people who could have been our friends. Rex was quiet for a long time. Some of my soldiers have said similar things. They wonder why we keep fighting. But orders are orders, and if those orders are wrong, Rex had no answer for that. Later that night, Zara heard Jake crying in his sleep. She went to his room and found him having a nightmare. Mama, Papa, he called out in his sleep. Don't leave me. Zara woke him gently. It is okay, Jake, you are safe. Jake hugged her tightly. I dreamed about Mama and Papa. They were calling for me, but I could not find them. They are watching over you, Zara said softly. They want you to be safe and happy. Will I see them again someday? Zara did not know how to answer that. She did not know what happened to people after they died, but she knew Jake needed hope. I think they are waiting for you in a beautiful place, she said, but they want you to live a good life first. Jake nodded and went back to sleep, but Zara stayed awake all night thinking. She was starting to realize that keeping Jake safe might mean leaving everything she had ever known. Her crown, her people, her mother. She might have to give it all up. But when she looked at Jake's peaceful face, she knew it would be worth it. This little boy had taught her what love really meant. Now she had to prove that love was stronger than hate, no matter what it cost her. 3 weeks had passed since Zara returned home. The palace buzzed with whispers and rumors. Some nobles supported the princess and thought Jake was harmless. Others demanded that the human child be killed immediately. The empire was becoming divided. Queen Mira was losing patience with the situation. Every day, more reports came in about the ongoing war with humanity. Keltharian ships were winning battles, but humans kept fighting back. The war was costing too much money and too many lives. The queen needed her people united, not arguing about one small human boy. She needed her daughter to be strong and loyal, not soft and confused. Most of all, she needed this problem to end. On a cold morning, Queen Mira summoned Zara to the throne room. This time she told the guards to bring Jake too. When they arrived, the huge room was empty except for the queen sitting on her crystal throne. Come forward, both of you, the queen commanded. Zara walked across the polished floor, carrying Jake in her arms. The little boy looked around at the tall ceiling and glowing walls with wonder. It's like a fairy tale castle, he whispered to Zara. Queen Mira studied the human child for a long moment. He did not look dangerous. He looked like any other small child except for his strange pink skin and brown hair. But she had been taught that humans were masters of deception. Zara, the queen began, this situation has gone on long enough. Our people are confused. Our enemies might think we are weak. This must end now. What do you want me to do, mother? The queen stood up from her throne. Her voice became cold and formal. I am giving you a choice. You can prove your loyalty to our empire and your people, or you can lose everything you have ever known. Zara felt her heart start beating faster. What kind of choice? In 3 days we will hold the Festival of Victory. It celebrates our strength over all lesser species. In front of the entire empire, you will personally end this human's life. You will show our people that you choose them over our enemies. Jake did not understand all the words, but he could feel the tension in the room. He pressed closer to Zara and whispered, Mama Zara, is the queen angry at us? Zara's hands were shaking. You want me to kill Jake? I want you to kill an enemy of our people, the queen said firmly. I want you to remember who you are and where your loyalty belongs. And if I refuse? Queen Mira's eyes turned hard as stone. Then you are no daughter of mine. You will be stripped of your title and banished from this world forever. You will never see your home again. You will never see me again. The threat hit Zara like a physical blow. Lose her title? Lose her mother? Lose everything she had ever known? The price was almost too much to bear. I need time to think, Zara said quietly. You have 3 days, the queen replied. Choose wisely, my daughter. Some choices cannot be undone. That evening, Zara sat in her room with Jake, trying to think of a way out. Jake was playing with some crystal toys that Nexa had found for him. He seemed happy, not knowing that his life was in danger. Mama Zara, why do you look sad? He asked, noticing her expression. I am just thinking about something important. Jake climbed onto her lap and hugged her. Mama and Papa used to say that hugs make everything better. Zara held him close, fighting back tears. How could she even think about hurting this innocent child? But how could she give up everything she had ever known? The next day, Captain Rex came to see her. He looked worried and tired. Zara, I heard about the Queen's ultimatum. This is a terrible situation. Rex, tell me honestly, do you think humans are really our enemies? The old soldier was quiet for a long moment. I have fought them for 20 years. They are brave fighters. They protect their families fiercely. They never give up even when they are losing, he paused. Those are not the traits of monsters. Those are the traits of people protecting what they love. Then why do we keep fighting them? Because stopping a war is harder than starting one, Rex said sadly. Too many people have died on both sides. Too much anger and fear has built up. Even if some of us want peace, others will not listen. That night, Zara could not sleep. She walked through the palace hallways thinking about her choices. She passed the room where Jake was sleeping and looked in on him. He was curled up with a small stuffed animal that Nexa had given him. "Sweet dreams, little one," she whispered as she turned to leave. She almost bumped into Nexa. The old servant was carrying blankets to another room. "Princess, you should be sleeping," Nexa said kindly. "I cannot sleep. My mind is too busy." Nexa set down the blankets and looked at Zara with wise old eyes. "You are thinking about the Queen's choice. How did you know?" "I have worked in this palace for 50 years. I hear everything." Nexa moved closer and spoke quietly. "Princess, may I tell you something that might help?" Zara nodded. "When you were a baby, there was a plague on our world. Many children were dying. Your mother was so afraid that she might lose you." Nexa's voice became soft with memory. "One night I found her crying over your bed. She said she would give up her crown, her palace, everything she owned if it would keep you safe." "She said that?" "Love makes us do things that seem impossible," Nexa said. "Your mother loved you enough to give up everything for you. Now you love that little boy the same way." After Nexa left, Zara went back to her room and thought about those words. Love makes us do impossible things. Maybe that was the answer. The next morning was the day before the festival. Zara made a decision that terrified and excited her at the same time. She would not kill Jake. Instead, she would try something that had never been done before. She would tell the truth. At the festival, in front of thousands of her people, she would tell them about her real experiences with humans. She would show them that Jake was not a monster, but a child who deserved to live. Maybe, just maybe, she could change their minds. It was a dangerous plan. If it failed, both she and Jake would probably die. But if it worked, it might save not just Jake's life, but end the war between their peoples. That evening, as she put Jake to bed, he looked up at her with his big blue eyes. "Mama Zara, tomorrow is a special day, isn't it?" "Yes, it is." "Will there be music and dancing like at the festivals Mama and Papa told me about?" Zara's heart broke a little. "There will be many people there. Can I wear my best clothes?" "Of course you can." Jake smiled happily. "I want to look nice for your people. Maybe if I look really good, they will like me better." Zara kissed his forehead. "You are perfect just the way you are, Jake. Never forget that." As she left his room, Zara whispered a prayer to whatever gods might be listening. Tomorrow, she would risk everything for love. She just hoped it would be enough. The day of the Festival of Victory arrived with bright sunshine and clear skies. All across the Crystal City, Keltharians prepared for the celebration. Colorful banners hung from every building. Music played in the streets. Food vendors sold treats to excited children. But in the grand amphitheater, the mood was different. 50,000 Keltharians filled the seats waiting to see their princess choose between loyalty and treason. They had been told that Princess Zara would prove her dedication to the Empire by executing a human enemy. Queen Mira sat on a raised platform, wearing her most beautiful crown and robes. She looked calm, but inside she was breaking apart. Today she might lose her daughter forever. Backstage, Zara helped Jake get dressed in his nicest clothes. She had found a small blue shirt that matched his eyes and dark pants that fit him well. He looked like any happy child getting ready for a party. "Do I look good, Mama Zara?" he asked, spinning around to show off his outfit. "You look perfect," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. Jake had been told this was a special celebration where he would meet many of Zara's people. He did not know that most of them wanted him dead. He was excited to make new friends. Captain Rex appeared at the door. "Princess, it is time." Zara picked up Jake and held him close. "Remember, no matter what happens, I love you." "I love you too, Mama Zara," Jake said happily. "This is going to be fun." They walked through dark hallways toward the amphitheater. With each step, Zara could hear the crowd getting louder. When they reached the entrance, she could see the massive audience waiting for them. "Wow," Jake whispered. "There are so many people." A guard announced their arrival. Princess Zara and the human prisoner. The crowd erupted in cheers and boos. Some people were excited to see their princess again. Others were angry about the human child. Jake waved at the crowd like he was in a parade, not understanding their mixed reactions. They walked to the center of the amphitheater, where a raised platform waited. Queen Mira stood and spoke to the crowd. Citizens of the Empire, today we celebrate our strength and superiority over all lesser species. Today, Princess Zara will prove her loyalty by ending the life of this human enemy. The crowd cheered loudly. Someone threw a flower at Zara's feet. Someone else threw a piece of garbage at Jake, but missed. Zara stepped forward and raised her hand for silence. Slowly, the crowd grew quiet. "My people," she began, "I have something important to tell you. For 5 years, I lived among humans on their world called Earth. I was sent there to spy on them and learn their weaknesses." The crowd listened carefully. This was not what they expected to hear. "But I did not find monsters," Zara continued. "I found people much like us. I found humans who cared for injured animals. I found humans who worked to feed hungry children. I found humans who risked their lives to help strangers." Some people in the crowd began to boo. Others listened with surprise. "This child's name is Jake," Zara said, putting her hand on his shoulder. "His parents saved my life when my ship crashed. They helped me heal. They showed me kindness even though I was their enemy." Jake looked up at the crowd and smiled. He did not understand all of Zara's words, but he could tell she was talking about his parents. "Jake's parents were killed by our own people," Zara said, her voice growing stronger. "They were murdered to keep our mission secret. This little boy lost everything because of our war." The crowd was getting restless. General Voss stood up and shouted, "Enough! Kill the creature and be done with it." Queen Mira's face was pale. She had not expected her daughter to reveal so much truth. Zara continued speaking. "Look at this child. Does he look like a monster? Does he look dangerous? He has never hurt anyone. He calls me Mama because his real parents are gone. He trusts me to keep him safe. Then you have failed." Someone yelled from the crowd. "Kill it now!" Jake was starting to get scared. The people were shouting angrily and he could feel the tension. He tugged on Zara's dress. "Mama Zara, why are they mad?" Zara knelt down and looked into his eyes. "Jake, these people think humans are bad. They want to hurt you." Jake's eyes got wide. Even though he was only 4 years old, he understood. "Are you going to let them hurt me?" "Never," Zara said firmly. "I will never let anyone hurt you." Jake thought for a moment, then did something that surprised everyone. He stepped away from Zara and walked toward the crowd. 50,000 angry aliens stared down at one small human boy. In his simple, broken Keltharian, Jake began to speak. "My name is Jake," he said in a clear voice. "Mama Zara taught me your words. She told me you have beautiful cities and pretty music." The crowd fell silent, shocked to hear a human child speak their language. Jake continued. "Mama Zara says you think humans are bad. I am sorry if humans hurt you. I do not want to hurt anyone. I just want to be safe." Some people in the crowd looked uncomfortable. This was not the monster they had expected. "My mama and papa died," Jake said, his voice getting smaller. "I miss them very much. But Mama Zara takes care of me now. She reads me stories and sings me songs. She is nice to me." Tears started running down Jake's face, but he kept talking. "I know you do not like me. I know you want me to go away, but I do not have anywhere to go. Mama Zara is all I have left." The amphitheater was completely silent now. Even the angry voices had stopped. Jake looked directly at Queen Mira. "Queen Lady, Mama Zara says you are her mama. That means you are like my grandmama. Please do not take Mama Zara away from me. I promise I will be good." Several people in the crowd began to cry. Captain Rex stepped forward with tears in his eyes. "Princess, I cannot watch this. The boy is innocent." More soldiers moved to stand beside Rex. "We will not harm a child," one of them said. But General Voss and his supporters were furious. "Traitors!" he shouted. "You have been poisoned by human lies." The crowd was splitting apart. Some people supported Zara and Jake. Others demanded blood. Queen Mira could see that her empire was about to tear itself apart. She stood up and raised her hand for silence. When the crowd quieted, she spoke in a voice heavy with sadness. "My daughter has made her choice. She chooses this human child over her own people. Therefore, I strip her of her royal title. Princess Zara is no longer my heir. She and the human are banished from this world forever." The crowd erupted again, some cheering and some protesting, but the queen continued. "However, they will be allowed to leave alive. I will not have civil war over this matter." Zara felt relief and heartbreak at the same time. She was losing her mother, her home, her entire life. but Jake would be safe. As guards moved to escort them away, Captain Rex made an announcement that shocked everyone. If Princess Zara is banished for showing mercy to a child, then I choose banishment too. He turned to his soldiers. Anyone who wishes to leave with us may come. To everyone's surprise, dozens of soldiers stepped forward. Nexa, the old servant, also walked onto the platform. I helped raise you, child, she said to Zara. I will not abandon you now. Dr. Finn tried to protest, but other palace workers were joining the group. Scientists, teachers, even some nobles walked forward to stand with Zara Queen. Mira watched in amazement as nearly 100 of her people chose exile over staying in an empire that would kill innocent children. So be it, she said quietly. You may all go. As they prepared to leave the amphitheater, Jake ran back to Queen Mira. Before anyone could stop him, he hugged her legs. Thank you for letting me live. Grandmama Queen, he said simply. For a moment, the Queen's hard expression softened. She looked down at the brave little boy who had just called her grandmother. Despite everything, she found herself patting his head gently. Be safe, little one, she whispered. Hours later, a large ship prepared to leave the royal docking bay. Zara stood at a window looking at her crystal city one last time. Jake stood beside her, holding her hand. Are you sad to leave your home, Mama Zara? He asked. Zara thought about the question. She was losing everything she had ever known. But she was keeping something more precious than any crown or palace. Home is not a place, Jake, she said softly. Home is being with the people you love. Jake smiled and squeezed her hand. Then we will make a new home together. Behind them, Captain Rex was planning their journey to the Outer Rim territories, where humans and Keltharians could start fresh. Nexa was organizing supplies and making sure everyone was comfortable. The others who had chosen exile were talking excitedly about building a new kind of community. As their ship lifted off and headed for the stars, Jake pressed his face to the window. Look, Mama Zara, there are so many stars. Which one will be our new home? I do not know yet, Zara replied. But wherever we go, we will go together. Will there be other human children there? I hope so. And Keltharian children too. Maybe they can all be friends. Jake clapped his hands happily. That would be nice. I could teach them games that Mama and Papa taught me. Zara smiled for the first time in days. Maybe Jake was right. Maybe they could build a place where human and Keltharian children played together without fear or hatred. Far behind them, Queen Mira stood alone on her balcony, watching the ship disappear into space. She had chosen to keep her empire united, but at the cost of losing her daughter forever. In her hand, she held a small crystal flower that Jake had picked in the palace garden. He had given it to her as a goodbye gift, saying it was to remember him by. As she looked at the